Now to the ongoing war in Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying there are gaps between Israel's ceasefire proposal and terms presented by President Biden. The White House saying it expects Israel to accept a hostage deal laid out by President Biden late Friday. But in those remarks, the president appearing to contradict himself.
Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. Well, I've urged the leadership in Israel to stand behind this deal, despite whatever pressure comes.
So the president seemingly saying Israel has proposed a ceasefire, but then urging Israel to accept Israel's proposal. Prime Minister Netanyahu saying Israel's goal of destroying Hamas, that has not changed. We'll bring in now Yair Netanyahu, the son of the Prime Minister of Israel, joining us here. Yair, thanks for coming on and good to see you. So a statement was released. Of course, good morning to you. A statement was released saying this war, this is from Israel, this war with Hamas in Gaza is likely to last another 7 months. Then you have this, the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, demanding Israel stop the Rafah operation. And you know, as well as we do, hostages still remain being held by Hamas. Your thoughts on this, international entities getting involved? You've seen, again, the United States, specifically President Biden, putting out ceasefire proposals. There's seemingly a lot of instructions coming from various directions to your father, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Your thoughts on that, Yair?
I must say we live in a very dark time. Israel has been attacked in the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, and the equivalent of a much bigger 9/11 proportion-wise when it comes to population. It's like 50,000 casualties in 9/11 and thousands of American hostages. And the reaction of the world, instead of supporting Israel like the world rightfully supported America after 9/11 when America retaliated and invaded Taliban Afghanistan. Instead of the world is turning against Israel, which is the victim here, the victim of a brutal terrorist attack of a terrorist organization invading our territory, taking over our towns, raping and murdering the women and beheading babies and beheading children and taking back hundreds of hostages. And somehow, when we retaliate to this terror organization, we're the bad guys. This is truly unbelievable, and it's very frightening. Yeah.
You know, Yair, I'm sure you saw the ICC, International Criminal Court, is seeking arrest warrants for several Hamas leaders, but also your father and Israel's defense minister. The court's top prosecutor laid out the allegations. Here's that soundbite.
The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder.
Yeah, your father responded by saying the following.
It's a hit job. It's not serious. He's out to defame Israel, and he's also pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are spreading around the world, because he is attacking the one and only Jewish state and trying to handcuff us, preventing us from exercising responsibly through the laws of war as we obey them and we are subordinate to them. He's saying we're not. He's creating false symmetry, false facts, and he's doing a grave injustice to the International Court.
In the days that follow, we'd learn Germany and France appear to be backing the ICC if an arrest warrant is indeed issued. Speaking casually here, is your father concerned about traveling to some of these countries that now appear to be willing to enforce arrest warrants should they be issued?
Not at all. It's a much bigger issue. First of all, this is not a court. This is a globalist organization. It have no jurisdiction whatsoever on Israel or on the United States. This is a farce. Can you imagine in World War II having an arrest warrant against Eisenhower and Hitler and Churchill and Hitler, or arrest warrants against Osama bin Laden and George W. Bush after 9/11? This is a complete farce. They don't go after the leaders of North Korea, of Syria, Bashar Assad, that murdered 500,000 of its own people. They don't go after the worst dictators in the world that does real genocides. And their real goal is America and American soldiers. They're using Israel as a stepping stone to get after their real prize, which is American soldiers, because this is what they want to. They want to control the world through controlling the United States military and intimidating the United States military. And this is what it's all about. Equating a leader of elected leader of a democracy, an ally of America, into terrorist leaders. This is a real farce, and it's absurd. And I hope that Congress will step up because, again, their real purpose is America soldiers.
Interesting point and take from you, Yair. In fact, I wanted to see if it kind of leans this way as well. When last week countries like Spain, Norway, Ireland recognized a Palestinian state. This is the Palestinian flag now going up outside of the Irish Parliament. And these are the European countries that have already recognized a Palestinian state that we have on the screen. More than 140 United Nations member states recognizing a Palestinian state. So with this recent move by more European nations joining in, does this move matter? What does this move say in your mind, Yair?
Again, we're living in the theater of absurd. There's no such country on the ground. There's never been a Palestinian state. There was the British Mandate of Palestine that was, the Jews lived there. It was part of the British Empire before it was part of the Turkish Empire, and so on and so forth, until you go back to antiquity where the Jews had their own state. At the time of the Romans. This is absurd, especially coming from Spain, which deny independence for real people that really deserve independence, like Catalonia and the Basque territory, which are the natives of the Iberian Peninsula, by the way. Those countries did not recognize the Palestinian state before October 7, which means that they're rewarding the Palestinians for committing the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, for invading Israel and raping women and beheading babies. This is the reward because they did not recognize them before October 7. This is a message for all terrorist organizations around the world that if you want to get what you want, you need to murder civilians, kidnap civilians, and preferably do it from a densely populated area.
Just, of course, as we know, a horrific day on October 7th, one that the IDF forces are fighting now to free those remaining hostages. That is the son of Prime Minister of Israel, Yair Netanyahu, joining us with his independent analysis of the ongoing war. Yair, thanks for coming on and sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Meantime, back here at home, Hunter Biden's criminal trial underway in Delaware, beginning with the jury selection process that is happening now. The Trump-appointed judge in the case already dealing 2 blows to the defense. We're getting into that with our trio of legal experts right after the break. We'll be right back.